Greetings, humans! Zbot4096 here, coming to you from Zogplex with our review of a human rectangular entertainment form, Starman, newly re-released on home formats. And what an illuminating and multifaceted gem of human storytelling it is. The film threads together a central journey of the main character, but wonderfully uses it as a framing for the journeys of the characters and worlds around him along the way. But before we delve into it, let's reflect on the journey the film itself underwent to return to screens. Originally released in theaters in 1984, the film was just re-released in February 2024 on your physical spinning 4K disc format in Sony Columbia Classics Volume 4 box set. Of course, most humans consume films from digital streaming sources since they're more convenient, with instant access from any device, and no need to store bulky collections. Now, only a few still hold on to their fidgety spinner habit, but that habit does in fact come with a superior visual and audio quality, due to the bitrate provided with the disc format compared to where human streaming technology is today. Plus, the physicality of the box gives a way for humans to have a tactile representation of the stories they love. This effect is ramped up considerably with the Columbia Classics series. We mean, just look at this presentation. And here in the back, there is this large format, full color hardcover book. See, full color, full amazing, detailing the films and their impact. You also get this sheet of digital codes. Don't look at that. And therefore, you still end up with the digital versions too. So it's really the best of both galaxies. But probably the most significant factor, though, is the curation of content, helping audiences prioritize their time in a noisy entertainment environment. Columbia Pictures seems to really care about its catalog of films, and each of these volumes has been packed full of proven gems that have simply been forgotten due to the transitional nature of theatrical presentation and the poorer home video options previously available. To elaborate on the contents of the box, besides Starman, this set includes His Girl Friday, which we haven't actually seen, but also Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and Kramer versus Kramer, just really fantastic films. We have Sleepless in Seattle, Punch Drunk Love, here they are, and you know, these are all fantastic films. Without this box set, they would all be languishing in a lesser format and lost on the infinite digital shelf. However, by remastering them in 4K HDR and giving them a new, commercially marketed physical retail product release, this puts them all back on the radar, even with the diminished state of physical media on Earth. This effect was strong enough to catch our sensor and remind us to see Starman. Now, we have been observing Earth for decades of your time passing, but had somehow missed Starman in its theatrical run and the time since. In full reflection, we likely had different expectations of a science fiction film in the 1980s than, a dramatic love story, coming out as it did between David Lynch's Dune and Peter Hyams's 2010, The Year We Make Contact. Making up for lost time, we acquired the box set, and, luckily we have a relationship with your human billionaires, and both Amazon Prime and Walmart Plus provide delivery to our space station. Admittedly, as the old spacefaring adage goes, there's never any space on a space station, but for this, we make space. So, we finally did see Starman, and Stars of the Galaxy. It is truly a human storytelling achievement. It describes the experience of direct contact with Earth of the Starman, an extraterrestrial visitor who sees humanity from an objective outsider's view. This is, of course, perfect for Zogplex because it shows us how humans think of themselves in an objective context, something that's actually very rare. So many depictions of aliens have been of invaders or monsters, which incidentally reveal some of the fears of the other among the storytellers themselves. This film, however, is different. It stars Jeff Bridges as the Starman, whose natural charisma animates the scripted direction of the character, much like he did in Tron, of course we love Tron, The Fisher King, and The Big Lebowski. I mean, look, it's the dude! It's the dude! Now, he is directed by John Carpenter, whose mastery of genre work keeps us on edge in the early scenes, as we don't know quite what to make of the thing-like sudden transformation and the robotic staccato mimicry of the Starman's speech. This is a different performance from, say, David Bowie's ethereal Thomas Newton in Nicholas Roeg's The Man Who Fell to the Earth, which draws on similar themes, but this film's Starman is more accessible and threads more depth of the range of human feelings. Where some in the story react in fear and bullying behavior, others, like Karen Allen, fresh from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Charles Martin Smith from American Graffiti, show compassion and are able to both change and cause change in the Starman as well. We see some attack the stranger, and we see others give significant assistance to the stranger, even at great personal risk. The film delivers its strongest emotional connection by defining the elusive concept of love, and then credibly validating it by actions between the main characters. Bridges and Allen have real chemistry on screen together, which is the heart that makes this film work. We do, however, have one note on the narrative. The Starman himself presents at times as childlike and immature for an advanced being, with moments of farce or slapstick, with him being the point of ridicule to the audience. This often breaks the logic of the story. How can an advanced alien analyze Earth messages, pilot a vessel here to make contact, assume a human form to blend in, and still robotically parrot human phrases right back to them? This sort of comic interaction is common in the fish-out-of-water genre, but it has an added edge here, as if the human storytellers needed to diminish the character in order to present a truly advanced human being. Perhaps it helps them give him a story arc, to grow from naivete to understanding, but I can't help but imagine that could have been done with a more respect for the visitor. More succinctly, we would have preferred the comic fish-out-of-water interactions to be more like the "nah, this is a knife" moment in the temporally adjacent Crocodile Dundee. Having said that, the Starman does get exposed to and responds to the richness of the mixed human responses he provokes. This culminates in the deepest of connections with Alan's character and creates a story that is authentically compelling, and for the filmmakers and audiences who supported it, a declaration that humans can exceed their baser impulses. This is all underscored by a synthesizer soundtrack, highly evocative of the period, composed by Jack Nitsch. It fits alongside Vangelis's Chariots of Fire score in its soaring reach and Michael Gore's Terms of Endearment score in its penetrating emotional impact. Both of those films are worth 4K HDR discs as well, and luckily Terms did come out in the format last year. Perhaps we'll have to reach back and fill in some entries for Zogplex, given their importance to describing the range of human experience. But We hinted at the special effects in describing the character transformation scene. Certainly, the film is of the time, but the effects are perfectly reasonable in being able to visually tell the story. The film, in fact, opens with a visual of an artificial mirrored sphere in space that appears well ahead of its time in terms of technical visual effects capabilities. Finally, we must comment on the presentation that the disc enables. It looks like watching a movie in the theater, especially in a dedicated home theater room, as we have on board our space station. The picture is razor sharp, at least when not in soft focus on Karen Allen, and the new Atmos soundtrack creates an immersive envelope that draws you further into the story. Now, our contextual assessment of the film and its complex implications about humans results in a consensus among the billions of nanobots that compose us. We give this film a highly positive rating. And so concludes this human version of our review of Starman. If you have feedback on it, please write in your comments so that we can upload the galactic version to Zogplex. As a footnote, many of the films in this discussion released on 4K disc in just the last year and present amazingly well in the format. Perhaps it would be worth sharing a recap of those, at least partially hidden gems. Overall, you can expect more reviews of 4K discs as well as theatrical releases as we continue to engage with your human rectangular entertainment. So please watch, like, subscribe, and comment so that we can continue to have the human voice reflected in the cosmos. Until next time, farewell, humans.